Yo, what's up with it? This your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the third house, back with another reading. It's gonna be another pick a card. We're gonna be asking a question. Who can't forget about you and why? Just getting off of work, so I'm a little bit scatterbrained, just a little bit. But basically I just wanted to ask this question. I guess I had asked before what makes you unforgettable, but now it's more to be more specific about who can't forget you and why. All right, because that's more important, that why, right? Thanks to those people who like, share, subscribe, the people that be commenting, supporting me, showing me love. I love y'all back for sure. Thanks to all the people that just be getting involved, period. If you just happen to scroll by and see this and, watch the video, thank you, Hopefully you get the message you was looking for when you watched the reading. So let's just get started. I got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, all right? So take a minute to look. Which one sticks out to you? Sometimes what I found out is if I can't pick any, sometimes it's all of them. You know what I mean? Not trying to trick you into watching a whole reading that may not be for you, but what I am telling you is sometimes if it's difficult, sometimes it's all of them. So that's just a little pointer I'm putting out there. All right, so I'm gonna get started on pile 1, and we're gonna go from there after that. So, pile 1. So, pile 1, who can't forget you and why? Oh, okay. Okay, what I'm picking up is these are some of the signs that I'm seeing. Pisces, Gemini, Cancer, and Aquarius, as well as Virgo again. And we got Virgo again. So Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, Cancer, Aquarius. Those are the signs we're seeing. All right. So they remember you as being a giver, but they remember you as being an overgiver. That's what they really remember. And they also remember you being a little bit rigid, not really one who goes with the flow, or I'm getting this energy of like, sometimes you would bend over backwards. And that's what they remember. But they remembered this, it's like a last period where you found some type of peace and you started acting unusual. And then you became rigid. So the flexibility ended. But what they did see you as is someone at the time who was an overgiver. You'd rather give than receive. So they remember you as being someone who they could basically take advantage of. Because Demeter represents people who, they recognize that you have a giving soul or a caring spirit. And they would basically make you overgive. They would just kind of like pretend that they were in need, and that they were in need of your services or in need of your help, kind of like playing onto your natural nature, your natural nurturing, habit, and basically they just want to take advantage of that. That's the energy I get. There's also a lot of energy here of you having a lot of enlightenment and the way that you talk. So you have like a purification. So people see you as pure because you also have time for healing. So it lets me know that people see you as like a calming spirit, a healing spirit, but you're a bit rigid, maybe in your beliefs, or you're a bit rigid in the way that you go about life. Maybe you have a consistent pattern. And that might have been also what they remembered about you, where they were able to take advantage of that. But there's an energy of you slightly being, it's just the energy of you being definitely different from them. You know what I mean? Like maybe that their usual type of people, you know what I mean? And this could have been a relationship too, because you got the 2 of Cups, and that's how they remember you, as separating either from friendship or separating from like a relationship, but they also see you as caring, nurturing, and they see you with the psychic healing, because whenever you see the balsamic moon was considered the last phase right before the new moon, right? Which is considered, they said that that's the last healing. It's like the healing moon because it's been through all the phases. Basically, like you've been through all the wars, you've been through all the struggles, and then you've gotten to this stage where all of a sudden you just kind of like want to relax and be at peace. And this is also the part of the moon they consider is for psychics. Most people who are born under the balsamic moon were considered psychics or having psychic ability. So they probably perceived you as someone, and you had the moon as well in reverse. So they perceived you as like being able to either see through the veil or just being able to see through people's bullshit. That's probably why you were so rigid. All right. But they just still seen you as like an overgiver and someone who they could take advantage of because of your giving nature. But they just seen you as enlightened, and maybe because that's probably why they took, because you might have seen it from a higher perspective that these are just physical belongings or this is just material. And to them, they probably were amazed by that, because it's like they felt like you were enlightened, like you knew something they didn't know. And you have the rebel, which means that the behaviors that you were exercising were a bit eccentric to them or just something that seemed foreign. And then you have visitor right here, which means that you were unlikely, like you hanging out with them or you being in a relationship with them just didn't look like you guys as a group should have went together. I'm burping, so this is big channeling. All right, so pretty much they were getting the vibe, like the vibe would come off like you're a bit weird, you're not like them. That's what you really stood out. That's the big part. You really stood out, but they kept you around because you had good benefits. All right, you were a bit rigid and not really like folding or going with the flow of what they had going on, and that they noticed. But you had like this sense of peace by being able to act weird or act on your own impulses, act on your own way. Like you were willing to go your own way. What they did remember though is you having some type of like round and round or some pattern, some type of like thinking you just couldn't get yourself out of. And it had to do with relationships, possibly with a breakup. They just remember you kind of like still like tossing it around in your head, you know what I mean? And it might have been like something that happened behind your back where somebody might have cheated, or they just kind of remember that either the people you were going after weren't quite your style, you know what I mean? Or if it was a relationship, they just remember you kind of like being in your head about like how you guys probably don't match up, or in your head about them doing something behind your back, you know what I mean? But anyway, whatever it was, it made you guys separate. But they remember you being really peaceful, really nurturing, Queen of Cups. So they remember you being really nurturing. So that's really why they miss you, because you just gave off this sense of like being like not holier than thou, but just, of a higher quality. And they recognize that you weren't like them. You had some type of like stability to you or some type of firmness to you, yet you were giving, and you just seemed to have a higher understanding than they did. And they got like this healing energy as well as this nurturing energy from you. And they seen that you were basically like, you had no fear of being different, because I have positive change right here, which says dare to be different. When you were criticized, remember that you would never please everyone. So you probably lived by that theory that I'm not here to please anyone but myself. And they probably thought that was unusual, or that was like eccentric thinking, and so they learned that you were like, maybe you were healing in a weird way as well, because time to heal is next to this Aquarius energy. So you could have been healing in a weird way, and you might have been sharing some of your tips that you were healing. And because they might have seen you as maybe a bit soft or a bit just out of place. And so they felt like maybe they could just take from you, because you were really giving, and you just probably didn't really care about much stuff. Plus they seen that you were kind of tied up mentally within like relationships that weren't going very well. You know what I mean? Either relationships where your emotions weren't being reciprocated, or just partnerships where there was no fair even give and take. And they just kind of recognized that. And because they recognized that pattern you were doing, they wanted to be under you, because they seen you were a nurturer and a giver, as well as, someone who has high intelligence. So you were just someone good to be around all around. You know what I mean? And that's what they can't remember. They can't forget about you. It's like you seen through their bullshit as well. Because the moon here in reverse lets me know that, some things that they thought they had hidden from you, or thought that you didn't really see, or that you wouldn't really peep, you did. And so that's probably why there's a separation for them as well, because that's the energy they see you in now, is the Two of Cups. So departed from them, separated. There's disharmony in this situation now. They see you as not wanting to work it out, pretty much, not wanting to compromise and not wanting to get along. But they do see you as like getting rid of things or getting rid of people. It's like you released external influences and energy, and you became clear with regard to what was needed. So you basically just got rid of people and things that weren't serving you anymore. And that's what they remembered. But they remembered lastly that you were kind of like stuck in your head about relationships that weren't working. And then they just kind of seen that you just started clearing out relationships that weren't, they weren't serving you anymore. They weren't worth your time and your effort. But they just noticed that you were healing through a weird way or an eccentric way. And that this kind of gave you some type of like rigidness, where you weren't folding or flexing to their will anymore, and it gave you a sense of peace because you got peace in the middle. So this is really the bigger parts is that you're rigid now. So you're basically like standing your own ground. You know, you're rigid. You're not going with the flow of what other people think. You're not like bending to their will or bending to their ideologies or bending to what it is that they expect you to do. You're no longer like giving person that they remember, pretty much. And now it's like you have a sense of peace by just kind of acting out to be yourself. You know, it's like, because Aquarius energy is more like, you know, it's weird. We consider it weird because it's them being who they genuinely want to be, you know, because it's like, why would I want to be like society? I want to be like me, and then allow society to form around me, you know, and allow others to be like them, you know, where it be a society of people who are just acting on their eccentricities. You know what I mean? Basically, people acting out on their weirdness. It'd be a world full of everybody just being authentically weird. All right. So it's kind of maybe the vibe that they might have been pushing, you might have been pushing, and they were kind of like, ooh, that's kind of weird. You know, that's kind of off the wall. They were just seeing you as someone who was just off the wall, not likely someone who would be hanging around with them or you standing out like a sore thumb in the group. If it's a relationship, they just didn't feel like you guys were of the same compatibility. They liked you because of, you know, your giving nature and because you had things, but you know, it was like you were just a bit weird to them. They felt like there was a part of you that they didn't know outside of your relationships, you know what I mean, where they seen you going round and round. But they seen you getting rid of those things and getting rid of them and getting rid of people that no longer serve you. So like I said, let's go over these signs one more time. We got Virgo, we got Pisces, we got Cancer, Gemini, and Aquarius. And those are the signs that we could be talking about right about now. Okay. So, pile 1, that's what I got. I'm going to go over here to pile 2 and see what's shaking and baking with them. Thanks for watching. This was a good reading. This was exciting. I didn't know how this was going to pan out, but this is pretty good. I like that. Pile 2. So, pile 2. Who can't forget you and why? Put that down there. Okay, so just got a lot of cards. I know I'm trying to arrange these cards neatly. I am not a Virgo. I do not normally care for small details, but right now it just feels like I need to just like put this stuff together so it looks aesthetically pleasing to my eye. All right, so these are signs I'm getting off the rip. Pisces, Aries, Capricorn, Taurus, Libra, and Scorpio. Okay, those are the signs I got so far. Possibly Earth sign. Well, we got Cancer here as well. Could be Earth sign again, because I got King of Pentacles, so that could be Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So it could be Earth sign dominant here. All right, but what I'm getting is this person is possibly someone that you worked with. They seen you get like a new start. You possibly left the job and stepped outside of your comfort zone. So they might have seen you possibly start up a business. Like you just took action. That's what they noticed about you. Like you took action. You might have talked about something, spoke about something, or they seen you actually working your way up into something. They just see you persevering to get a new start, and they're seeing you step outside of your comfort zone, and that's what they really can't forget about you. Like that's like burning in their mind, how you actually stepped outside your comfort zone and you took charge. They see you like this independent person who basically like broke out of like the expectation of others. You know what I mean? They seen you, how else can I describe this person? This also is someone who might have, they might usually deal with like deceit, things that are like, okay, this is what it is. There's someone who's stuck in like their own mental prison. They're stuck in like, you know, keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with how other people perceive them. So it doesn't allow them to basically act out or be vulnerable or be who they want to be. So it has them being more deceitful with the sword, you know, being more deceitful and not really, you know, telling their whole intention, you know, but they're a little bit charming with what they got going on. You know, they kind of paint it up to make it sound like it's really that thing. And you know, stone represents, because I haven't seen the stone in a long time. So the stone represents like being stuck, you know, keeping the same beliefs. It's kind of like the Four of Pentacles, but you know, this one's like, you know, like old beliefs, old patterns, and that's what they remembered about y'all before. But for them, they're still stuck in it, and that's the issue. They've seen you get the new start because you worked hard to step outside of that comfort zone, but they're still stuck in it, you know. And so they can't forget basically that you took initiative, you took the lead of your life, and your hard work is finally paying off. They couldn't believe that this worked out for you because you even got the Chariot, and that's how they're seeing you. How they're seeing you is moving, like actually taking action, moving forward, making progress, gaining victory. You know what I mean? They also see you like kind of like taking control of your own duality. You know what I mean? Possibly like that masculine and that feminine energy. It's like you're combining both. I just felt that need too. And then you got mending. So these are just like, they see you like just putting the, oh, okay, so boom. So sword also could mean treacherous ways. And because it's lined up with mending, they probably see you fixing those old ways. So you might have been a slickster or a trickster as well, but they're still in it. You know, and so you've actually moved outside of that realm, outside of that way of being. And they're still holding on to those beliefs. It's like it's got them stuck and stagnant. Whereas they see you actually working on those efforts, like working on those shadow aspects of yourself, stepping outside of your comfort zone, those areas where you weren't really comfortable, you know, expressing yourself or comfortable just kind of like living. Because you're doing something new. When you step outside your comfort zone, it means you're living in a different way that's not comfortable to you. So there's going to be some stumbling and some falling and, you know, you looking a bit foolish. But the way that they're seeing you as King of Pentacles, meaning stable and content, you know what I mean, able to take care of yourself, able to provide for yourself. And the Chariot upright, meaning that they're seeing you moving forward victoriously, taking control of the reins, taking, you know what I mean, taking life by the reins and, you know, riding that mug to the dirt. That's what they see you doing. Like, yo. They see you taking control. You know what I mean? They see you now, here and now, like you're more present. You have more of a presence. That's what they're seeing you as, being more present in life, like having more of your own physical presence, taking up space. That's what I'm getting, like taking up space. And now they're seeing you mending, basically mending like those old behaviors where you were, you know, possibly backstabbing, sneaking, dealing, just doing like criminal things or just doing things that were more deceitful to other people, that were, you know, and only in your best interest. Is what I mean. And so they're still stuck in that. You know, they want to be vulnerable, but they had to do it secretly. You know, they can't be as vulnerable, so they do it secretly. And it's because they're stuck to like old beliefs, these old patterns. They just really can't, it's their foundation to them. It's their level of security and stability. So they stay on it. It's like, for them, it's like a stage. It's like the attention. That's what they like about it. They get the attention. You know, for you, what they really love about you, though, and what they can't forget is like your balanced and your resolution, like the way that you came to conclusions and the way that you solve problems, the way that you, because I got mending right next to it. So you were good at like fixing things, you know, or actually coming to a fair conclusion. You know, I don't know why I say fair, but you got Libra here. So, you know, you could be a Libra, you know, because it's the energy of like being fair, knowing how to work relationships and knowing how to like do the work to like repair past wrongs. You know what I mean? Not that I don't see anything too much about wrongs outside of sword, which, like I said, represents like the deceit and like trickery or like deception or possibly a lawsuit as well. You know what I mean? But yeah, they can't forget that you just took action. You know, you said you were going to do something, and you know what I mean? You actually, it could be somebody you work with. It doesn't have to be. It just could have been somebody who was in your vicinity who watched you work, possibly. You know, they watched you do the work is really more so what I'm saying. So, you know, it could have been someone from your job that's seen you, you know, quit and just decided to take your own path and do what you're going to do. Or it was just someone in your life who's seen you actually putting in the work to like fix these past transgressions that you've had and like get outside of your comfort zone. And they're watching you get a new start and like take life by the reins, like, you know, moving forward, you're gaining your own balance. And they see you as this King of Pentacles, you know, stable, sound, you know, comfortable in your own, you know, like feeling like at home within yourself. You have a physical presence as well as here and now. So it's also about being more aware, being more conscious of what's going on around you. Like this brand new start, like you're more conscious of what's going on around you is what they're noticing. Like you have this acceptance, like there's nothing in you. So, okay, so boom. You don't feel like you need to fix you, but you fix like, okay, so it's not a fear. I mean, it's not a feeling of fixing you. It's a feeling of like fixing those habits, those ideas, those thought patterns. That's what you've done, because like now you've got acceptance, like realizing you accept the responsibility of your thought patterns, of the behaviors. That's what I'm getting. So you accept it, and they see you like working your way through it, because that's where stepping outside of your comfort zone is connected with the sword. That lets me know that these three things are going together. That basically you were just working on those shadow attributes, and that's what got you outside of your comfort zone. Whereas they're not really too into that right now. They're still stuck in this line right here. They're still stuck in like this prison of being who other people expect them to be. All right. So it's like, yeah, you let yourself be the one to heal the wounds passed down from your ancestors. They're still holding on to those past, those are the family. Stone also represents those family traditions. You know what I mean? Those family beliefs, those traditions that were passed down for years. And that's pretty much what this is as well, as what it's saying here. It's like you be the one that healed these generational wounds pretty much. And that's what they can't forget about you, that you took action after, you know, all the hard work and got outside of what you were used to. You didn't do the norm, and you became more accepting of your behaviors and more accepting of yourself, and started, you know, taking responsibility for your actions and your beliefs. And that changed everything for you. That broke, I mean, pretty much a family pattern of, you know, being a slave to their own emotions or their own perception of other people. You know, it's like keeping up with the Joneses is the energy I'm getting, for real. But somehow they still see you as like, you know, stable, you know, having, even if you don't have a lot going on, that's what they see you as. They see you as like being victorious, moving forward, but like at a fast pace, as well as like using all your might and all your will and succeeding, you know. And then they see you, you know, stable, comfortable in your own home. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a home within yourself, like you're confident within yourself. But it's also like, it's not a smugness. It's like, you know, I've done well after all of this work. So they see you like basking, I sense, in a form of glory. I'm gonna say that, like they see you kind of like basking in it, and this new way of life. That's what I'm getting. They see you basking in this new way of life. So yeah, whereas their past is still holding on to them. That's what they're worrying about, their past. They feel like nobody understands them, you know, and that's why they're afraid to actually, like, they don't want to express themselves. They let others put them in a box, and so that's why they feel like nobody understands them. It's because they're afraid to really be vulnerable and to allow others to see who they genuinely are, whereas you're not like that. You've gotten over that belief. You know, you're moving forward in the way that you want to move forward. You're taking action. It's Aries energy, all right? So let's go over one more time what signs I got. We got Capricorn, Aries, Aquarius, Pisces, Libra, Scorpio, excuse me, Taurus, and Cancer. We got Capricorn, Virgo energy as well, and Taurus energy over here with the King of Pentacles. So those could be your signs. Those could be the people you're dealing with. You let me know. But pile 2, that was the reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie. I'm about to go over here to pile 3 and see what's up with them. Pile 3. So pile 3. Who can't forget you and why? Okay, so this is another person who, these are the signs I got first before I even go there. I got Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. I have Cancer, Sagittarius, and Scorpio. Okay. Those are the signs I have just off of noticing, right? But they can't forget the way that you basically protected yourself. So you protect your feelings with the way that you decide to go after things. So you may not be one who, shares your feelings too much or shares your ideas, and that's what they remember. They're like, because this is what their problem is. Their problem is they don't feel like they can create. They're more of a thinker, whereas you have two paths, which is an optimistic, is Sagittarius energy. You're more of like a fast mover, you know what I mean? Or that's who they are. I'm sorry. That's who they are. They're more of a fast mover normally. You know, they usually they make like impulsive actions and they're quick-witted, quick-moving. Could be a Sagittarius, right? Or it could be a Virgo, a Scorpio. But they're having problems creating. Whereas they feel like what they remember about you was you being stuck in the same cycle, like, you know, really not making any progress, you know, and that's what they can't forget, that you were just kind of like stuck in your head as well, you know what I mean? So maybe y'all bonded on the fact that you guys really couldn't figure out how you guys wanted to move forward, but you guys might have shared in the impulsivity of like just like making fast decisions without really thinking them through. You know, they kind of remind you of someone who was a bit guarded or a bit protective of like your ideas. This is who they could be as well. It's just someone who's, because like you guys were mirroring each other. That's the energy I'm getting here. It's like you guys kind of mirrored each other, and that's why you guys were like, why they can't forget you, because maybe you guys were hanging out at one time and not hanging together anymore. Because I get like you close out a cycle. That's what they see you as, closing out a cycle and like kind of like calling a close to this situation. You're like revoking the energy that you were giving to it, like not investing anymore. You know, maybe now you're like not as reliable to them as you used to be. Because I'm getting that they used to be able to get ideas from you whenever they were having like a writer's block or having like creative blocks where they couldn't really they couldn't get it together. They would basically indulge with you because you were more optimistic or more outgoing as well. It's like you guys really just mirrored each other. But the only difference is you're more of like a deep thinker. And so you probably were coming up with more ideas than they were. They just might have been the one who was bolder to make the first move. They were one who already had a momentum of being a risk taker because they're just naturally optimistic and believing in themselves. Whereas they're one who doesn't really share their secrets either, though. You know, so they just kind of see you as the big thinker, the one who has the great ideas, you know, but they really just don't see you as reliable anymore, or you're not offering the same level of stability to them anymore. Like you're not putting the effort in with there anymore. They see you kind of like closing the cycle. And that's what they can't forget about you either. It's just, okay, so basically they just can't forget that you were coming with like ideas. You were like the think tank. You know what I mean? The think tank. You were the guy or the girl who had the ideas while they're optimistic and feeling like they can go after whatever it is that they have. You know, you might have either started being more guarded or they were more guarded with their ideas. But it's like an energy of you guys kind of like mirroring each other. The only difference is you were the brains of the situation. You know what I mean? Whereas they're more of the actor. They're the one that really goes out and makes it happen. You both were sharing in this independence and this life of like going with the flow and like achieving things. But one of you were a little bit more guarded, either you or them. One of you were more guarded with your emotions and a little bit more guarded with the way that you shared your thoughts and feelings. See, where they seen you, so it might have been them. It's more likely them, where they were more guarded with their feelings and their thoughts and their ideas, but they were always inquiring about yours. And they couldn't forget about your ideas, because whenever they're having issues creating or not feeling as creative, or not having as many ideas or things that they feel are sturdy or able to go the distance, then they would pretty much inquire with you like, hey, what should I do? What do you think? You know, and that's the energy. But now they're seeing you as closing that cycle out and no longer offering or giving the energy or time to it. You know, you're no longer as reliable or steady as they used to remember you. Now you have more of an independence. You know what I mean? You feel like you're free to choose and go with whichever way you want, which also lines up with the two of paths, which is about, you know, optimism and having two choices or having multiple decisions and needing to just choose one and fully commit to it. You know, so they're seeing you as being more independent and actually having options and choosing to commit to your own paths, as opposed to, you know, working with them, because that's what they remember. They remember you working with them, but it wasn't really working with you, or it wasn't really working with them. It was more of them just using you and getting what you had, you know, and they notice now that your momentum is picking up because you've actually chosen and gotten out of your head. You've actually chosen a path and decided to pursue it. Now you're being more independent and you're like in the flow of life. You know, so now they may offer you an invitation of some sort, possibly to link up, you know, maybe talk again, connect again, possibly for business. Because I'm getting this as someone who you might have done business with, or you've done some type of you know, like thinking or creative work or ideas. It's like you've done ideas with this person before. You've done some type of work or something together as a team. You know, whereas you've done a lot of thinking, you did a lot of analyzing. You know, you did all the like hard, heavy thinking work, and they would just put some actions in, and you know, and just they would just be the bold one. They would, you know, hear you say, "Oh, I'm gonna go do X, Y, Z," and then they would go over and make a move on it before you did, and tell you, "Hey, yo, I wouldn't did that you were saying." You know what I mean? There's someone like that. But when it's time for an idea that they have, they don't share it with you. They make a move on it, and then you might hear about it later on after they did X, Y, Z. You know, after they made their pennies or they made their goods or they got what they wanted, then they would tell you about the move after they made it. But they wanted to always know what you were doing because you seemed to have the great ideas. You were the think tank. All right. But anyway, now they see you as being more independent and ready to break free of the conditioning. Because as a thinker, when they have you as a thinker in the middle, the thinker is usually the person who's stuck in their head. They're usually isolated. They don't do too much conversating or too much. They're not really extroverted. They're introverted. So they're usually stuck in their head and stuck in their room, you know, or stuck in the house. You know, they might stick around only their close friends. And that's probably what they were working on, the fact that you guys might have been close friends, or just like, you know, they might have just known you. They might have somehow gotten with your circle. Could be family member, could be a close friend, could be a lover. You never know, you know, or just anybody who just, they've known you as a thinker. They've known you to be isolated, to be on your own, and to be a deep thinker. That's it, like to really know things, to have possibly esoteric knowledge, possibly, you know what I mean? Just, I'm not going to say, I mean, it could be abstract information as well. You could have like abstract thinking, and that was able to help them create new ideas and, you know, possibly make different things happen, you know, because they're the bold one. They're able to make moves. They're able to basically just get up and just go after whatever it is they want. They're super optimistic. And they seen that same thing in you, but you were just more like stuck in your head, whereas they're one to take action. That was the separation between the two of y'all. But I guess you maybe possibly picked it up from watching them, like, this is what I need to do, but I need to take action. And so they seen you now being more independent and not wanting to be stable and reliable to them anymore. And that's a problem for them. It's not, I don't see it as a negative, but they see you as now choosing, you know, breaking conditionings, the old way that you used to be. You know, you're no longer bound. You found your personal power. That's what the solar plexus is about. It's about finding your personal power. So basically, you found like your personal power, and you're working on this journey of healing and growing. So you basically broken out of that just being an overthinker. You may not think you. I'm not gonna say you broke out of that, but you're probably not as overthinking as possible. Now you make moves. You know what I mean? Now you make moves. So that's the difference. You probably still think about them for a while, but now they're more analyzed and like more timed, more precise. You know, because as before you were afraid to take the moves, now you're willing to take the efforts, you know, but you're not as reliable and steady and consistent to them anymore. And that's what they see you as, like no longer working on those old patterns, not repeating those same cycles. All right. But like I said, they may want to ask you, you know, or talk to you again one more time, or just try to converse with you and just, you know, see what they can get, you know what I mean? But they see you as basically like taking life one day at a time, just breathing, you know, and just gaining your power, gaining the momentum. That's really what they see you doing. It's like gaining momentum day by day, week by week, year by year, or however long they've been observing you, you know, because this seems more of an energy of like they might be observing you, you know, because they just remember you like cutting this off, like ending this cycle, not having it going on anymore, you know. So that's what I'm picking up. But this is someone who's repeating patterns like their father or like their mother. They're like repeating those patterns, like they may feel stuck. They might be married. That's the energy I'm getting. They might be married. There might be someone who's married. Yeah, that's what I was getting. But for them now, without you, it's more of a struggle. You know, because they're just optimistic, but optimistic without an idea or without a plan, it's just hopeful, you know, hopeful wishing or hopeful dreaming. You're just hoping things will happen. You could be optimistic all you want, but without a practical plan, it's just dreams. You know, so that's about it. That's what I'm getting for pile 3. So the signs, like I said, let's run over the signs one more time. We got Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, um, Aquarius. Then we got Sagittarius, Scorpio, and we got Cancer. Okay, so that's what's going on with them. So pile 3, that's what I got. I'm about to slide over here to pile 4. Thanks for watching. This is your boy Noonie. Okay, pile 4. We've been rocking and rolling. Pile 4, this is your reading. So, who can't forget you and why? Pile 4. I'm getting you was best dressed. You was cocky, confident. You know, definitely someone who was loving, nurturing. You was giving, always shared gifts. People seen you as a gift. You might have been a bit tardy, all right? But they seen you as like best dresser, fly, cute, handsome, you know, beautiful. They definitely seen you as very attractive. What they see you as now is like walking away, a bit defensive. A bit defensive with them, you know, maybe guarded, not guarded, but more about like defensive. Like you guys might have had some type of argument or some type of fight, and it's like now you're looking towards the future, and you're hoping for a brand new start, a possible brand new situation, or maybe you're looking for a reunion with someone. You might be looking for a brand new start with someone, because I'm looking at the 3 of Pentacles, I mean the three of Wands with the Ace of Wands. And to me, I know 1 and a 3 equals the 4 of Wands. So they could be looking for a reconciliation, or possibly wanting to marry you, something long-term. They want to build roots. They want to set down roots with you, you know, or they see you as trying to set roots elsewhere, looking for a new start elsewhere. But basically, seeing you as walking away and being a bit not like, you know, like not nervous, but a bit watchful of them. You know what I mean? Like observant. Maybe you maybe distrust. That's the word. Distrustful of them. They see you as being a bit distrustful of them. All right. And these are the signs that we got: Taurus, Leo, Cancer, and Pisces. Okay. But what they did see you as like being attractive. They see you as very attractive. They see you as a person who liked to get the things that they desire. Like it was easy for you to get the things you desire. They did see you as someone who was always late or tardy, or someone who just didn't have good time management. You know, but they did see you as a loving one, someone who was very loving, as well as someone who had some type of spirituality. Like there was a duality to you. You could be a bit charming or a bit egotistical with the Leo energy here, but you also someone who took care of your family, because they have you and your loved ones are safe. And Isis is also about the person who's like really loving and protective of their family. Like they'll go to the ends of the earth for their people. So they see you as really nurturing, really loving, and really giving, you know, as well as like very dressed, very attractive, very handsome, or very beautiful. You know, like your hair, the way that you dressed, it's like you gave off a very regal energy. All right, you might have been like someone who was not attractive in the earlier years, because I'm seeing the swan, so that always means like a rebirth, or you know, growing into a better stage of yourself is kind of how I look at the swan. So they see you as like, you know, coming up, or like coming into your own is the energy I get. But they see you as like very regal, someone who really cares about their family, really takes care of their people. They see you like having some type of spirituality as well, but more of like it's a duality. You know, where you could be really really nurturing, or you could be really fiery and really passionate. You know, as well as, like I said, they see you get the things that you desire now. You could dress very nice. You're very attractive, but they see you as being on guard of them or distrustful of them. You know, what they remember about you as well is that you were very giving. You know what I mean? You were always giving. The people that were really close to you, you were always giving. You know, but they might have felt like it wasn't safe to love or wasn't safe to share. So they might not have been as giving as you. But that's probably why they remember, like you were a friend who was really a giver and you would share. But it made them more afraid, because this is the energy. The energy I get is it made them want to be more protective, because they might have felt like you were duping them. Like, why would you want to give to me? You know what I mean? It's the energy of like, why would you want to give to me? Because you have energy of being like really loving, really aesthetically pleasing, really charming, really outgoing, really protective of your people. And you have protective here as well, being really protective, being really giving, sharing, you know what I mean, having a spiritualness to you, as well as like someone who's like comfortable, like taking time out, and like you get this energy of being peaceful and really nurturing, you know, all these things at one time, you know, and it was a bit much for them. And what they remembered is like not feeling safe or feeling like maybe you were trying to dupe them, you know. It's like they remember you being someone who wasn't afraid to take action. You know, man, they feel like you create miracles somehow with whatever it is that you're going after, because you have the Ace of Wands, which means like it's a fresh new start. Or you have like excitement, creative juices getting going. It's like, and you're always looking forward for what's the next move, like what's the next experience, what's next for me. The world is you know, my oyster pretty much. That's how they're seeing you now, and a bit guarded with them. You know, maybe distrustful, maybe not. You know, maybe just on guard, like wanting to protect yourself from them. Ooh, somebody talking about me. But they also see you as someone, oh, they want to reconnect. You got to reconnect here. So these are people that want to come back. They want to reconnect with you. They feel like you're going after your destiny, or they feel like knowing you was part of their destiny. You know, they felt like you were supposed to be in their life, and I got eternity here. So these people feel like you're possibly a soulmate to them. They felt like you were part of their life, you know, and that they were supposed to know you. It's the energy of them also feeling like they ran out of time, you know, or that there just wasn't enough time with you. Like there might have been it might have been a short stay, a short relationship. These relationships might not last that long, you know, so they might have felt like there wasn't a lot of time, or these were short-term relationships, you know what I mean? But they just seen you as giving, someone who really was a gift or really would share. You know, they definitely see you as a gift. Now I'm thinking about it, because like you intrigued them. You know, you were kind of like, I want to say like entertainment, but you really like got their curiosity, like you piqued their interest. You know, because like I said, you were very attractive. You would take action. You had this duality to you where you could seem a bit like a bit spacey, you know what I mean? Like kind of spacey, but you're nurturing as well. And you kept a little protective shell as well, because you got the Cancer crab here. So you kept like a bit of a shell as well for protection, but like you would protect your people. You were overprotective of your people. Like you were genuine. You really cared, you know, and you would like to, now it's like they see you as going after the things you really desire, the things you really want, you know, and they see you as more attractive, kind of like a glow up, like, you know, because I'm seeing the swan. So they're seeing you like possibly glowing up now, and they can't forget that stage and that period of like basically where you like meditated, where you basically like took a time out, because you got time, TikTok in reverse, and meditating, contemplating, which means there was a time out here. You took a time out to reconnect, and basically, you know, you got some insight. You started using your voice. You started working that third chakra, started speaking your truth to get the things you desired, and now you're reconnected. So they see you basically as like going after your destiny, and you're a bit distrustful of them. You have a new zest for life, a new desire for life. You want to see new experiences. You want to see the world, explore the world. You want to know what's next for me, what can happen, you know. And they just pretty much feel like there's going to be a miracle that's going to happen for you. They feel like you're on the precipice of something new. And they can't forget that stage with you where you were kind of like in that like meditative state, or just like in that duality. Maybe you were going within a change, and they were seeing you kind of like being one way, and then sometimes you were another way, or you were just a bit dreamy. You might have had this idea, like fantasies to them, like an energy of like fantasies, you know what I mean? But these people felt like they just didn't have enough time with you, or that it was very short-lived, you know, whereas they feel like now, like they should be like connected to you, you know. They see you more so like connected with your higher self, and allowing yourself to be like led towards your purpose, and you have destiny right here. So it's like you got the insight that there was a bigger purpose for you, and you started reconnecting with your true and higher self, you know what I mean? Because we got sacral chakra here, or heart chakra. So you became more present within your emotions, and like allow other people to like be in, because you got Cancer crab here. I mean, I guess a Cancer crab. You got Cancer and Pisces here, which lets me know this is about, you know, emotions and psychic abilities and nurturing, and knowing how to nurture yourself as well as trying to heal others. Excuse me. So, and they see you as protective, you know what I mean, with the Leo energy as well, like, you know, willing to fight tooth and nail for your people, defending of your people. So you could be a Leo, or they could be a Leo. This could be the people. But that's the signs I was getting. But yeah, it's like you picked up your personal power. You start using your throat chakra, so you're doing more talking, more communicating of what you want and need, as well as like standing your ground and like being more confident within yourself, going after the things you really want, and having like the openness to be like achieve it and allow others to help you, and allow yourself to be vulnerable enough for the universe to work within you and get you what it is that you desire. Because you do have to pay a price when you get the things you desire, but for you, they seem like they're worth it. And I feel like they remember you just, in a stage of like kind of like considering on what you want to do, and it seemed like a fantasy to them. But they remembered you as being a giver, very very well dressed, handsome or beautiful, nurturing, loving, a bit, like I said, a bit spacey, but very protective of their people, and they just kind of see you now. They remembered you as like reconnecting, and now they see you as like defensive of them, and like looking for other opportunities to see what else is out there. You have this new zest for life. You want to achieve things. You want to go after. You just want to like go out and explore and just see the world. And that's what they see you as now. But they want to reconnect. There's an energy of them wanting to reconnect. And, because they know you have insight, like you have more wisdom than what they were aware of, is the energy I'm getting. And they just felt like it was just such a short time to know you. They felt like they were meant to know you a whole lifetime or an eternity, like they were meant to be involved with you. And that's what they can't forget about you. So you came in and touched those people's lives, man, or touched this person's lives just like that. They never forgot that. In a short time, you changed their life. That's amazing. Well, anyway, Pile 4, that was all I got. So I'm going to end this reading right here. Thanks for watching. This is your boy Noonie, and this is Leo in the 3rd house.